name is Iyiola Olafimihan. Originally from Nigeria. Black and proud and disabled. I'm a member of Cultural Access, the steering committee. I'm in my 50s. Came to the UK in 2006 to study for a master's degree, Human Rights and Social Justice. My background is really in law, and growing in Nigeria, I worked as a lawyer and did not quite notice that I was disabled for a long time, even in those days, because I used to work with crutches. In my country, there's a stigma around disability. So you tend to want to, hide yourself away from disabled people. I never knew disabled people until I was quite old. So growing up in Nigeria, I did not really have I wasn't conscious about being disabled really, because I was born into what you call a middle-class family, went to uni, studied law, made friends with a lot of non-disabled people, worked with crutches. I had polio as a kid, and I think for a long time I could cope using my crutches, and so access was really not an issue. I could take steps and all that. Started working in a bank actually, and then I met this chap who kind of like my mentor. He was into disability activism, and he wanted more to be done for disabled people in Nigeria, and that's how we got talking. He also could adapt cars, so that was how I actually got to know him, because I wanted an adapted car to start driving, and started realizing that, okay, actually I'm disabled, And through him, we started activism in Nigeria, looking at other African countries, what they're doing with disability. And then the same guy, Cosmas, his name, called me one day and said, Iyiola, some people approached him to act in a movie. However, that movie, home movie, they were going to be speaking Yoruba, which is my mother tongue. But he is not a Yoruba person, he's Igbo. And he felt he couldn't do it because he can't speak the language. And then called me and asked me if I wanted to act in a home video, which was strange, first time ever. And the film primarily was about something that I actually experienced later in life, because it was about against stigma, social issues in Nigeria, and whether a disabled person can actually marry, or a non-disabled person or a disabled person or whatever. And the film was about that, and how the family of my so-called wife in the film clearly didn't want their daughter, beautiful daughter, to marry a disabled person, because they felt, well, first of all, stigma. Secondly, she was going to eventually become a carer. And it actually happened to me later in life, because I'm married now. I've got two kids. One is 20, the other is 17. And I remember that I lived what I acted when I wanted to get married to my wife. Fortunately, my mother-in-law came around and everything went well. So I'm happily married now. So I came to this country really to learn what is going on here in the Western world. What is access like? What is legislation like? I learned about the social model of disability. I consider myself now as an activist, really. So I'm not only part of cultural access, I'm part of Disabled Black Lives Matter, another group in London here, where we also want mainstream race organizations to start recognizing the intersectionality between disability and being black, And if you ask me, what does Black Lives Matter, Black History Month mean? It really didn't mean a lot to me until recently, because again, I view almost everything through the prism of disability. Race did not come up for a long time until recently, when I started noticing that even in the disability movement, there's kind of systemic, I don't want to call it racism, but prejudice against black or people with color when it comes to running organizations, when it comes to being in leadership positions. it's really, there's a kind of pushback to us. They tend to view Black, disabled people or people of color as not competent enough, but they won't say it to your face. So I started noticing that, and obviously being a Black person, it's resonating with me. But what really drew me to Black Lives Matter, or Black History Month, is what we saw in America with George Floyd, and using that as an experience, I just see it as, even here, the system is a policeman kneeling on our necks, not allowing us to breathe, even in the disability sector, not allowing us to come out with our skills or give us more responsibilities. And that's really now one of my focus. Apart from working at Camden Disability Action, I also was a member of Disability Action in Islington. So I've been involved in the movement for a while now in the UK. I've seen how things have evolved from 2006 till now, how the Equality Act came into force. I've seen politics kind of slow us down. I've seen things were a lot better in 2006, and then things started really getting bad from 2010. Now, I don't want to be political. Everyone knows what's going on, all the austerity measures and all the cuts to public funding. It's really had an impact on disabled people. DPOs, especially DPOs that are disabled people's organizations, which basically means organizations led and managed by majority disabled people. And of course, we welcome allies, but control is with disabled people. However, most DPOs are primarily white, and I don't want to be funny here. And what I would like many DPOs to do is to start recognizing our differences, not only because being disabled, different impairment groups, but our different as being Black and having our own culture, and actually allowing our own life experience to kind of be, what can I say, use it to diversify their organizations better, more. For young Black disabled people, I want to see DPOs, especially leadership in DPOs, give young Black disabled people the opportunity to develop, the opportunity to be leaders. Many capacity building schemes for disabled people is primarily focused on white disabled people, I must say. They sometimes claim that we are hard to reach, which is always very funny to me, because we are not hard to reach at all. We are everywhere. I mean, if you look at London, we want to co-develop, co-produce things together. If you want to, one simple thing, if you want to have like an event or a workshop, think about even the food. Think about what will draw Black or people of color to your events by providing our own food, as part of the what do you have on the menu for lunch. That alone will give me a confidence that you're thinking about my needs. And then again, like I said, trust us in leadership positions, and and let's see